I'm going to do one of the weirdest things ever, Houston Texans fans, and I am going to talk about your tight end. I'm going to do it. And this is just kind of crazy to me. And you see the title, Houston Texans best kept secret is hiding in plain sight. And there was a signing that they made over the offseason that I was like, oh, that's a good signing. But I think it kind of went under the radar. It really did, because you had to wonder, was it a system thing? Was it a him thing? And so let's just talk about Dalton Schultz for a second. So before we get going on this video, I got a couple things for you. Number one, subscribe if you haven't already. We do a ton of Houston Texans videos. We are Lions fans that love teams that don't get love in the national media market. The Houston Texans are absolutely one of those teams. And but man, oh man, there's a lot of buzz around this team. So if you want more info on that, like, subscribe, why not, and leave a comment. And here's the comment I have for you. How happy are you with the play of Dalton Schultz so far? I think it's really important to ask that question, because the tight end position is so important for a rookie quarterback, but also what he's doing is fantastic. So here's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to dive into the numbers a little bit. We're going to talk about why it's trending in the right direction, why he is a great fantasy start for you, and also why he is the reason, even more, I'm going to make an argument, even more than Nico Collins, even more than some of these other guys, that you have consistent good play from CJ Stroud and this offense. All right. And that's not a knock against Nico Collins. Love me some Nico Collins. It's not a knock against Tank Dell, who has been awesome, even better than advertised. But it is just a talk about what Dalton Schultz is. So here's who he is. Dalton Schultz is a guy for you that so far this year has not he's not like he's lighting the world on fire, right? I mean, he's not lighting the world on fire necessarily. He has 21 catches for 215 yards, but you need to look closer into those numbers. The last 3 games, he's had 3 touchdowns, not in each game, 1 touchdown each game. He's only 27 years old, so if he continues to play well, you can absolutely sign him to another contract. All right. But here's, I think, what's so important. In the last 2 games, he's been targeted 17 times. He's come down with 11 catches. He is doing really all the little things. And lately, it is very clear that he is exactly what a good tight end should be, which is a security blanket, a security outlet. And it's not, I mean, here's the thing about the tight end. They are awesome because depending on what kind of reads, so you have multiple different reads. Sometimes you have to read half the field, and sometimes you have to read the whole field. But the tight end is generally somewhere in the middle of the field. So he's somewhere in the middle of your read progression. Not always, but he is. So that's why it's a good security blanket, because if you have to get hurried, you can get to him quickly. If you have all the time in the world, you can scan the whole field and go back to the tight end. That's the good news. But how can we tell the effectiveness of Dalton Schultz? Well, the question is, what's the passer rating when he's targeted? And CJ Stroud's passer rating when targeting Schultz is a 99.9. All right. Wasn't good. So there's other ways we can look at this. We can do things like we can look at PFF. So I went to PFF and I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, his overall grade's not that good. It's a 63. But then I looked at the games. I looked at the 6 games, and I saw over the first 3 weeks, he was graded lowly, 44.4. Not good. But over the past 3 weeks, all right, Bobby Slowick has started to use Schultz. He's started to use him, especially over the last 2 weeks. He's looking to him in the red zone, okay? And it's resulting in a 3-game PFF grade of 80.66. See, that's what we need to talk about. That's what we need to talk about. All right. And he's scoring well in run and pass blocking, which is kind of nice as well. Now, Jacksonville, his pass blocking was atrocious. All right. But other than that, as I look at it, he's got a pass and run block grade in the mid-60s. It is more than serviceable for a tight end. So what you're seeing from Dalton Schultz right now is a guy that has always, at least especially when he was in Dallas, and I know he's just going down the road, like it's one of those things where like, come on, do we need to talk about that? He's always fared pretty well. in the receiving game. You know, I think of 2021 when he had 100 targets, 78 catches for 808 yards. Like, that's a good season. He had 577 last year on 86 targets. And this year, he's on his way to go somewhere in between those two. So he's doing well. I think everybody wondered, is it just the system? What does that look like? And the answer is no. He's just a good player. So he still has the pass catching chops. He's not going to just amaze you with his athleticism. He's not going to just wow you with those types of things. Okay. But he's all around. He's a good pass blocker when they need extra protection or they want to take a deep shot. Then they're running a more complex route. He's a good enough run blocker, which, oh, do they need some run blocking? Okay. I still don't understand why that run game hasn't gotten going. Like, the offensive line has been more than fine. I understand it's been a makeshift offensive line for the most part, but they've been good enough when we're talking about the passing game. What's going on with the running game? I think it's only a matter of time until that gets going, but he's doing a good job in run blocking as well. So, I think it's one of those things that, you know, you think you can like it. And as a Lions fan, we've spent so many years wishing we had the right tight end. Right? We spent so many years wishing we had the right tight end, and a good tight end can absolutely change things. It can change things for your team. So, yeah, there you go. I know it sounds weird. Best kept secret isn't hiding in plain sight. Let's talk about his contract now. He's on a 1-year, $6.25 million contract. If you remember last year, he was good enough to play on the franchise tag. Dallas put him on the franchise tag. There's injuries and all that kind of stuff. So he comes into Houston and it's just like, okay, what's he going to be? Well, what he's going to be is good. And I would expect him, if he continues to play at this level, to go ahead and sign a contract extension that's like a 3-year, $20 to $24 million contract. I think that just makes sense for me. It just makes sense for me. I don't know if it's that low. Like, when you look at Spotrac, I didn't realize this. Oh my goodness. I guess I don't know if I'm off or if they're off, because Spotrac says that his average annual salary should be 15.1 million. I don't see that. I think that his average salary should be right in that 7 to 10 range. So that's me. I don't know what you think. How much would you pay him for another year? Because he's clearly helped your team. So, yep. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment, like it, subscribe. All right. More Texans content. See you later. Thanks for watching.